In a cozy little woodworking shop, the scent of freshly cut wood lingers in the air. A carpenter is hard at work beside a table saw, carefully handling each wooden piece with skilled hands and focused eyes. Woodworking is not just about cutting, nailing, or joining wood. It's a series of detailed steps that demand precision, technique, and above all, a passion for a traditional craft that has existed for centuries. The process begins with selecting the wood. The chosen wood must be properly kiln-dried to ensure it won't shrink, warp, or crack during use. Commonly used types include ironwood, mahogany, pine, oak, depending on the intended product. Each type of wood has its own color, hardness, and grain pattern, requiring the carpenter to have a keen eye to match the material with the purpose. Once the wood is selected, the next step is ripping or sawing, one of the most critical stages. In the image you provided, the craftsman is using a table saw to cut the wood into equal-sized strips. The table saw, equipped with a sharp blade and a precise guide, allows for fast and accurate cuts, but demands the utmost concentration. A moment's lapse could cause a serious injury or damage the material. After the wood is roughly cut, it goes through a planing stage using a thickness planer or hand plane. This step smooths out the surfaces, removes imperfections, and prepares the wood for assembly. Often, the carpenter must plane several times to achieve perfectly flat and square edges, essential for proper fitting later on. The next step is measuring and cutting to size. Using measuring tape, square rulers, and carpenter pencils, the woodworker precisely marks and trims each part according to drawings or customer requirements. Whether it's for a table, chair, or door frame, each piece must be measured down to the millimeter for a clean, seamless final product. Once all parts are prepared, it's time for joinery, a step that showcases true craftsmanship. The carpenter creates joints like mortise and tenon, dovetail, or dowel connections to assemble pieces without using screws or nails. These traditional methods not only improve the product's durability but also give it a unique handcrafted quality. Making tight and accurate joints is considered one of the most difficult and skilled parts of woodworking. With the components shaped and joints prepared, the carpenter moves to the assembly and gluing phase. All parts are fitted together and secured with wood glue. Clamps or tightening straps are used to hold the structure firmly in place until the glue dries. Depending on the glue type and weather, drying can take several hours. Once the frame is assembled, the carpenter begins sanding the entire surface to remove glue residue, small scratches, or imperfections. Sanding can be done by hand or with power tools, but it must be thorough, covering corners, grooves, and edges. A well-sanded surface ensures a smoother and more consistent finish during painting or polishing. The final stage is finishing, applying paint, poo coating, varnish, or lacquer to protect the wood and enhance its appearance. Before finishing, the surface is cleaned of dust and grease. Often, multiple coats are applied, with light sanding in between to achieve a mirror smooth result. The type of finish depends on customer preference and product purpose, from rustic natural tones to glossy, high-end aesthetics. After finishing, the carpenter conducts a final inspection. Every detail is checked again: joint strength, color consistency, texture, and overall function. The final product is not just a piece of furniture, it's the culmination of hours of skillful labor, experience, and love for the craft. In a workshop like the one in the image, simple yet warm, with a fan spinning quietly among stacks of wood planks, you can feel the honesty and dedication behind every cut and grain. The carpenter, in a plain shirt, works with quiet determination. Every item that leaves this space carries a part of the craftsman's spirit, one who dedicates time and care to preserve and pass down a cultural tradition. Woodworking is not merely a way to earn a living, it is an art of creation, of preservation, and of legacy. In a time when machines can mass-produce almost anything, the hands of a craftsman still bring something irreplaceably unique: character, soul, and authenticity.